The greatest danger of ignorance is not so much what we don't know, but rather what we do know that just ain't so. So today's fun fact of what you and I know that we learned so well in high school and college and beyond, and what has been ubiquitously taught throughout the world, is our liberation of the Jews from the death camps at the end of the World War II, 1945. The Americans came in and the Brits, and we came in and liberated the death camps, and the Jews saved them. We didn't. It just ain't so. Okay? We did nothing before, during, or after the Holocaust for the Jews because we hated them just as much as the Germans. Okay? But we didn't have the problem that the Germans have of getting them out of here because we hadn't allowed them in. Okay? We had a very small quota of allowed Jewish immigration, and of that very small quota, we only allowed 1/5 to actually come. Hitler's final solution was not his first solution. He just wanted them gone, and he didn't really want to take the effort to kill them. He just wanted them gone. But when America wouldn't take them, and the Muslim conquerors of Israel wouldn't take them, and they had nowhere to go, he said, well, I guess it's plan B, and they're not going to like plan B, and turns out they didn't. So at the end of the war, and we had done nothing throughout the war to save them. There were many people saying, should we do something? We said, no, the World War II was never about anything to do with the Jews or the Holocaust. It was about stopping Hitler from taking over Europe. And we gave not one little damn about the Jews. Okay? No one did, is why it was allowed to happen. Okay, so we did nothing. In 1945, when we finally arrived at the death camps, when Hitler was completely vanquished, we did not liberate the Jews. In 1945, when the war was over, there was about 1 million survivors of the death camps. They hadn't managed to extinguish because they just ran out of time, ran out the clock, and so there's about 1 million survivors. There's about 750,000 others, and there were about 250,000 Jews. Okay? Now, nobody would take them. They couldn't go back to the lands where they were, where they'd come from, where they hated them, were eradicating before and during the Holocaust, and we're going to continue. We would not allow them to come to America. Okay? Those Muslims that had conquered Israel wouldn't allow them to come there. There was nowhere to go. So the UN created a program where they were able to send the survivors around the world to other countries as cheap labor, essentially. Okay? And they did. The world ate that up. They did. That's a good deal. They came and they got them, and they took them all back all over the world. They took back everybody except the Jews. Didn't take any of the Jews. Because, Jews. So 250,000 Jews that remained there, and we wouldn't allow them to come here, and we wouldn't allow them to migrate to Israel, stayed there. We did ask, where would you like to go? And they said, well, we can't go all the places that were killing us. Our preference would be go back to our homeland. And we said, no, you're not allowed to go there. And they said, okay, well, America, because they're not killing us. It's one place on the planet that's not killing us. And they said, nope, can't go there. Can't come here. So they said, and quote, then I guess it's the ovens. So they stayed until 1948. Stayed there, were forced to stay there by American troops. American and British troops forced them to stay in the death camps for 3 more years. At the end of 3 more years, they did not leave being liberated by the Americans or the Brits or anyone else. In 1948, as you may recall, Israel declared its independence from Britain, as we had done before, only they were declaring their independence and taking their country back rather than from someone else. Okay? They declared their independence and said they can come here now. You can no longer prevent us Israelis that are here from bringing the rest of our Israelis back to our homeland. And they went, finally, in 1948, not because we liberated them, not because we saved because of us, but in spite of us.